Girlfriend orchestrated our meeting over several months before we got to talking. I need advice, weary face. Previous post is on my profile. Last 2 weeks have been a blur with getting so much stuff dealt with and taking the appropriate step to ensure the safety of myself and my family. Before I go into the update, I want to clarify something that I realize is an important detail after a few private messages about it. Mindy had told my mom, then me, and everyone she met through us that she's 30 years old. The reveal of her real age happened in the same conversation where she told me how she first saw me and basically stalked me and my family. After she told her story, I had asked her if there was anything else she hid, and she told me her real age. Compared to everything before that, the age seemed like such a minor transgression that I didn't think to include that. BTU now for the update. 2 days after the last post, I installed newer security cameras around my home and fences, changed all the locks, as well as getting a Ring camera. I had my mom and dad come over and explain to them the cause for concern, as well as reveal to them what was going on. My dad had a family friend who's a lawyer get involved with trying to get us a restraining order as soon as possible. Since Mindy had already met all my friends, I asked a coworker of mine, Eliza, 31F, that I work with very often to be there when I met Mindy one last time to break up, let her know I'm pursuing the restraining order, and give her all her belongings that she had left at my home. I told Eliza the full story of why I wanted her to be there. Eliza seemed reluctant but agreed. As another precaution, I bought a pin camera and had that on me. I called Mindy, with Eliza, and 2 friends hanging out in the back listening to the call, and asked Mindy to meet me at a local park to discuss where the relationship would head from there. Mindy suggested a restaurant, and I agreed. On the day of, we went to the restaurant, getting there an hour beforehand. Eliza sat at a different table to where she'd have a clear view of where we were. When Mindy came in, she came and sat at the table with me, and was acting really casual as if nothing had happened. I finally broke what felt like awkwardness to me by asking her the questions I hadn't thought of before, and quoted her answers. How did she get my info from the license plate? My brother works as a dispatcher for the local police, and he looked it up for me. He didn't want to get involved any further, which is why I did the background check. Does she go to the park to find guys like this? You're the 3rd person I've looked up like this. But the other 2 people I looked up like this, I didn't like what I saw in their background checks. Does she not think this is creepy as hell? No, why? It just isn't. Women can't be creepy. Only men can. This caused me to break out laughing really hard. Why didn't you just come up and ask me out? Women don't approach men. We make men approach us. Anything else I should know before we talk about the future of this relationship? I know that's your coworker over there, and that you changed the locks to your house, and she pointed to Eliza. Eliza was shocked and left immediately, so I was glad I had the pin camera still on as a backup. I told her, okay, so you've still been stalking me despite me asking you for space for a few days. This is over. Stay away from my family, my friends and me. As I stood up to go pay and leave, she grabbed my hand and asked me to stay long enough to hear her out, so I sat down. She said she recognizes that this may have caused some loss of trust, but that she still loves me, first time the L word had been used, and wants to find a way to make it work. I told her that wasn't happening as I was creeped out by the whole thing, and that I am getting a restraining order soon. I stood up and went to the counter to pay. She followed me, told me she will see me in court about the restraining order, and left. I asked her to wait to take her stuff, and she just grinned and said, keep it to remind you of how good you had it. She's continued to attend the tennis club with my mom and tries to make conversation with her, but my mom told me she's only polite to Mindy but makes no conversation, avoiding bringing me up altogether. Mind has been asking about me, but my mom is staying vigilant. We've been advised to be civil until we get the restraining order.